You searched how to improvise over a jazz blues. So, here is my promise. By the end of this video, you will know all three structures a jazz blues runs on, and you will hear them working together in a single chorus. But three structures was never the destination. It is the alphabet. What you actually want to say something. Here is what that sounds like. That is a jazz blues. No pentatonic box anywhere. Everything you just heard is three structures working at the same time. Now, you have probably watched a dozen blues lessons. You know your scales, and 12 bars in, your solo still comes out just one color. Here is the belief every one of those lessons handed you. The blues is one thing. Learn the one scale, the one box, and you are covered. That is the assumption. And here is why it failed you. A jazz blues is three structures running at once: the blues sound, the jazz movement, and the engine underneath it. And almost every lesson only ever teaches you one of the three. You were not failing the blues. You were juggling with just one ball. Nobody handed you the other two, and nobody ever told you what the juggling was for. My name is Junwon Choi, and I teach jazz guitar as an apprenticeship. The way this music was actually passed down, not from a textbook. I grew up in South Korea, no jazz scene. Everything I know, I learned at Berklee College of Music from my mentor, Richie Hart, and the blues is where he made me stop collecting scales and start hearing what the 12 bars actually ask for. I came to this total outsider. That is exactly why I can teach it, and I had to understand why it works. So you can stop collecting information and start playing real music. So today, all three bars. The first one, the blues sound. The 1 and 4 flip. The single note that turns the chord inside out. Number 2, the jazz movement. The guide tones. The line that works the changes for you. Number 3, the engine, the dominant function, where the 12 bars actually turn. Then we put all three back into one chorus, the one you heard at the top. And at the end, the reason all of this exists, something Hart Crook told me in a lesson that changed how I hear a solo. So stay with me. So the first thing, the 1 and the 4 sound. So what is that? So I just played the F blues in the beginning. So F blues, 1 is F, and the 4 chord is B flat 7. I know I emphasize the third of the each chord, target the third, right? But blues is a little different. The blues, we should treat that from the key sound, not each individual chord. So in the key of F, we have the third, we have A natural, right? The first chord, we are key of F, so we have A natural. But see how this note is changing when we go to the fourth chord. It is going to minor third. That is the beauty of the blues and the 1 to the 4 sound. The minor third and the major third is coexist in the blues, but they have their own sound and own function. So whenever you have one chord, try to target or try the blues sound, blues phrase you know that coming from the major sound. And on the fourth chord, use the sound from the minor third. And if you just do that, that is just half of the blues. So in the jazz blues, it starts from the 1, and right after we go to the 4, right? And then next 2 measure is 2 measure of 1 chord, right? And that is whole 4 measure. And then when we go back to the go to the 4 chord, we spend there for 2 measure, right? So 6 measure out of 12 measure of blues, it is already like 1 and the 4 chord is taking up the 6th measure. But on the 7th measure, we go back to the 1. So more than half is just 1 and the 4. Right? And the number 2, the guide tone movement. That is the jazz movement. The third is becoming our target from there. From where? From the half. So the first 6th measure of the blues is just 1 and 4, back and forth, right? And when we are going back to the 1 chord in the middle of the blues, from there we are playing 1, 6, 2, 5. So first half of the blues is 1, 4, 1, another 1, and the 4, another 4. And then from there, once we're going back to the 1, from there we have 1, 6, 2, 5. Okay? So from there, we can target the guide tone, the third of the each chord. So after we hit the 1 chord again, and then the D7, the third is F sharp. So F sharp is right here with flat 9 in it, right? And this F sharp is right next to the key center note. So what I played from the beginning of this solo was right? target on the next third, the G minor. That is our west line. The third of the one chord, and I went to the blues. So we covered the whole blues, the jazz blues chord change. The 1 and the 4 flip, and the guide tone in the rest half, the 1, 6, 2, 5. And the most important part, the engine that moving this blues, is the dominant function. So to understand the dominant function, let's think about this. The blues, then we think about all chords are the dominant chord. But still, there is some moment that dominant chords functionally function as dominant function, but the other dominant chords function as just tonic function. You see what I'm saying? So even though the chord, the structure is dominant chord, not every chord function as dominant function. So when it goes moving to the strong, the rhythmic position, for example, the first measure, and then fifth measure, and then ninth measure. Every first measure of those 4 measure block, those positions are really strong tonic function position, tonic function chords. So whenever we are heading towards that measure, which means a measure before those strong tonic function measure, we can play some chromatic motion towards that. So the beginning, 1 chord, and the 4 chord. This is just introducing, okay, we are in the blues. And then going back to the 1. This is the 3rd measure and the 4th measure. And then the 5th measure, we already went into the 4 chord. But let's see what we are actually playing on the 4 chord. We are playing, this is all the tonic function sound that works on the 4 chord. And on the 1 chord, these are the tonic function sound notes. So this sounds fine, but check this out. First measure, second measure, third measure, fourth measure. So why this is working? Why? The tonic function sound of the 1, and then the dominant function sound of the 1, which is on the 4th measure, all of these sounds chromatically resolve to the strong tonic function sound on the 5th measure. Right? So, yes, we can easily understand this concept while we are playing the chords, even though, like, without the tension notes, just playing root and just a guide tone, I can play like this and make that sound happen. Right? Changing the root and everything chromatically resolved to the strong tonic sound chord, right? But here is the thing. Yes, comping on the comp, yes, we can see that. But why not on our playing? That is the blues engine that makes this tune keep moving toward the next. And this chord over here, D7, which is, yes, it is on the dominant chord, again, 1, 6, 2, 5. So it is in D7, but that is on the 8th measure, which is the weakest bar right before we are going to the 2 chords. So 1, 6, 2, 5. So over there, we can have another dominant function sound over there. So that's why we have this diminished sound over this D7. Right? So, Hart Crook, the man who wrote How to Improvise. The book Berklee's improvisation curriculum was built on. He told me this way in a lesson. The ear hears the past. The eye sees the future. You cannot watch 3 structures at once. You do not have to. The eye reads what is coming, but the ear works with what you just played. That is how these 3 balls stay in the air. And it is why the blues is the greatest etude ever written for these 12 bars, and what you just played comes back around. So that is the whole path. The 10 minutes on the flip alone will change how those 12 bars feels. If today's chorus opened something, the whole foundation is free. Building blocks, my free course. Sign up below, and inside there is a 45 minutes blues section that walks you from 0 through the sound you heard today. If this video felt like 3 new things at once, do not worry. That is where I'd start. So tell me, which of the three were you missing? The flip, 1 verse 4, the guide tones, or the engine, the dominant function? Drop it below or find out for real. The 2-minute scorecard is linked down there too. I read everyone. One last thing, because Hart Crook's line has a second half. The I see the future. That is everything we did today. Reading 3 structures ahead of you, but the ear hears the past. That other half, the ear, what you just played, and how it grows into the next chorus instead of starting over, that is the next video. It is called How to Build a Story in Your Blues Solo. It is on your screen right now. If this is how you want to learn this music, sound first so you can stop collecting information and start playing the real music. Hit subscribe. You've got all 3 bars now. Go put them in the air, 12 bars at a time. Until next time, keep swinging.